Hello everybody, welcome to Sideline Sister Sunday's very first episode, very first interview with somebody who is very, very, very dear to my heart. Yes, that's this beautiful lady here, Nicky Hartel, who is the master dreamer at the support room, as well as the co-creator and founder of Dream Builders. And I love the name Dream Builders. Okay, so before I just start having a wonderful conversation with you like we always do, what we're chatting about today is the value that Nicky has found through having her life map done and having some things about herself just put out on the table there. And I love doing yours because I didn't really know you very well yet, but if I look at the 3 years that we've now known each other and exactly how you are moving, and it's wonderful.
It's what you said.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for sitting with me. You've been with me right from the start, right? Right from the beginning of my astrological...
It's a pleasure, and it could not have been anyone else. I would have been very upset. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really, you have, you've really been a motivation, a support, all those very amazing things that you always are. And so that's what's really, I loved highlighting this for you in fact, when I first met you, I thought, oh, she's a Pisces. And then thought, if you're not saying anything, just in case I'm wrong.
Does that happen to you often?
Well, I never really guess, but no, often if I just, oh yeah. But there's so much more to just a sun sign, you know, as you by now know, I keep drilling that in. Because it's true, the magazines have done, I don't want to say an injustice, but it has been an injustice to astrology, you know, in the fact that they just said one tiny thing and then they group everybody of that sign with each other. It's impossible that all Geminis are going to have the same week, feel the same, have the same phone call from some stranger, you know, find love.
Exactly, because I'm born on the 27th of Feb, and my very good friend Nina, who you also did her life map, is also born on the 27th of Feb, but we're born at different times, so our life maps are different, and we are different.
Right.
But yet, my life map is, I don't want to say scarily accurate, because it's not scary, it's comforting actually. Because when you see something written down, or when you get told, you know, this is who you are,
right?
It is comforting, because the parts of yourself that you were trying to hide or that you were trying to disown,
right?
Because, you know, you can't be like this or you can't be like that, you realize, well, this is who you are.
And also on the flip side of that, the parts that you are trying to own, the parts of yourself that you are trying to tap in, well, I'm good at this, so if I can do more of this, to really see that that is also your truth, that really is your truth.
Absolutely, because I think so many of us don't, it's almost like we don't, the truth is there, but we don't see it.
Right.
Because we're disconnected.
Right, we're looking outward always.
Always. Yeah. And actually, so what you are able to do, it's a beautiful gift, because you're able to show somebody their truth. And
unlock that magic.
Unlock that magic. And there's that beautiful quote that you introduced me to a few weeks ago, which you're going to have to...
the truth stands alone. When everything else in the room has burned and exploded, it's not the word for it quote. The only thing that's left standing is the truth. So seeing as that's all that there is, you might as well start there.
But some of us don't know how to start
there.
No.
I think that having a life map done is such a beneficial thing for a new mom, for example. I had that done when my little boy was born. And it's helped me tremendously to understand him. It's such a lovely addition to motherhood, where you do see this little person, and then to truly have that understanding of, you know, he's acting up, okay, this is right. So now I can actually work with that instead of potentially making him feel worse that he's acting out because I'm just going through my own conditioning of when I was young. We have the real ability now to actively change things that are happening in our life and to take real responsibility.
Because also as parents, we think it's something that we've done.
Exactly.
And
we're too close to it sometimes.
I mean, you did the life map for my child, and I mean, it was spot on. And I remember one of the aspects was that he blames himself and is overcritical and self-judging and gets extremely upset if you say anything. And you know, the whole time as a parent, you're thinking, how did I teach him that this is? And I didn't know how to help him. And then you come with a life map and say, well, this is actually his nature.
Yeah.
This is who he is.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very empowering. So the reason why I really love the MD and the Master Dreamer for you, I love that when I first read that. Nicky Hartel, MD, Master Dreamer. And even Dream Builders is...
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know that I'm about dreaming, I'm ready.
Absolutely. So Nicky is a double Pisces. So I'm going to just briefly touch on what we call our top three, which is our sun sign and our rising sign and our moon sign. And I'm going to try to not go into too much jargon. But briefly, the sun is our basic identity and ego. It's also who we want to mature into. Our rising sign is what the world sees of us. It's our mask that we wear out. So often if somebody describes you and you are listening, it might sound foreign to you because it isn't really, you don't think of yourself like that, but that's the mask that we see. That's your rising sign. And your moon sign is your deep, deep inner emotions and how you are reacting through them. So Nicky is a double Pisces, not just even a Pisces sign. And by the way, the thing that triggered it for me was your beautiful big, big blue eyes. It is just quite a Pisces trait. So Pisces rising and Pisces sun. So Pisces is our last sign. It's ruled by the 12th house, and you have your sun in the 12th house. So you are very dreamy. Nicky needs no proof. If her belief feels right and that works for her gut feeling, then that's all the proof she needs. So when we are coming through as Pisces or in our 12th house, it becomes actually our undoing. So we've now experienced all those 11 other signs and, you know, learning about finances and comfort and home life. And this is now almost our undoing. So it is very spiritual. And you are very spiritual. And so the fact that what you do, when I met Nicky, I did a beautiful process called dream mapping, a dream mapping workshop with Nicky. There's that word again. And it's basically a process where you get taken right back, you connect into your authenticity so quickly, just through a vision board process of, you know, not thinking, just grabbing what you want, or what word, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
What grabs you?
Yeah, what attracts you. And through that, we build this beautiful thing and really show ourselves how far we've potentially gone away from ourselves. And that is something that you do for women. I mean, you work predominantly with women. You coach, so you do life coaching. I mean, you create, you know, even with me when I got my life mapping logo from the support room, that beautiful process of dreaming, just allowing myself to not worry about anything. Just pretend it's perfect, it's happening as it perfectly is. So not only is that such a very Pisces thing, but it's such a beautiful thing for me to actually see it in action in you. And now that you're also more aware of me saying that to you, I think that you've opened up.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because if I think about it honestly, even when I was running the dream mapping workshop, so that was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
I still, and even though I was calling myself the master dreamer, I still hadn't connected fully to my gift, which is the ability to help people to connect to their dreams,
right,
to connect to their truth, to get that clarity.
So through dreaming.
Through dreaming.
Beautiful.
I was doing the work, but I hadn't, I actually didn't realize that this is actually my gift.
Exactly.
And if you look at my life map, it's there.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and there's so many ways that we can get that message. We need to be open to listening.
It's wonderful that you were open and that you are so open, because you come from a very different background. You have been a very corporate person at one point as well.
I know, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
No.
And thankfully you're not anymore. But it's lovely that you were able to really go, hang on, this is not me. Because majority of us, we just carry on with it. This is not me, but I just keep doing it because of all the expectations and all the bills at the end of the month. And just our programming of not dreaming.
Or because society will tell us that it's not possible.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
So this is my life and I must just accept it.
Right.
And yes, you know, I could be doing this or I could be doing that, but the reality is I need to make money. And this is my job or this is what I'm doing.
And what will my family and friends say? What will they think? And I mean, that's a big one.
Huge, major,
big
massive.
one. Yeah, massive. Massive until it isn't.
Exactly.
Which, when we speak again, because obviously Nicky and I will be chatting quite regularly, but it's just amazing for me to see how the two of us, through these last 3 years, the level of self-awareness that we've gained, also just through things like, okay, Pluto's retrograde, so be aware of this. If you're feeling like this, go into it instead of like, oh, you know, I feel terrible, I'm just going to go and run away from it.
Eat pizza.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been very, very beneficial for me. I mean, I've been studying astrology, or I was introduced to astrology at the age of 11, so it's certainly not only been in my frame of reference for the last 3 years, but it's that I've come back to it and gone, okay, you know what, this really is it. I'm not running away from this anymore. I'm not.
Because you did try, you also didn't.
Yeah, I tried for years.
Also not connected to astrology.
Yeah.
It's like we try everything actually not to
just step into that, yeah. And I was very connected to it. So it is, I did do a massive turnaround for some reason. Okay, I'm going back home to the Eastern Cape, so now my life is going to be this, this, and this. So I just completely put the lid on that magic. Boom. So yeah, it is a beautiful thing to jolt back into your life and go, oh my gosh, these are amazing.
You needed to look at your own life, man.
Absolutely. And even to see those things that you go, oh, I don't want to read that. But now to go, look how much better I react to that kind of situation now. And it brings your self-awareness, because you'll always come back to those things. If something irritates you, it will come around every 6 months or every year until it doesn't irritate you anymore. And then it will still be there, but you won't even recognize it. You won't even see it. So yeah, we need engaging ourselves. And what I also love about you and how so astrology says that we are completely responsible for our life map. We penned it, for lack of a better phrase. Okay. So often very dreamy people, it's very difficult for them to monetize anything that they do, any kind of creativity. And if you just think about it, it is not an easy thing. How do you work out? You know, people crochet these magnificent dresses. They can truly never get the value of what they put in. You know, really never. But what's amazing about you is you've got your moon in your 11th house, which is Uranus. Both your moon, the Aquarius, everything goes together. The 11th house, Uranus, and Aquarius. So that's very open channel. And what I love about that for you is that whatever you learn, which is always spiritual or predominantly spiritual. Obviously, you know a lot of other things too. But the spiritual lessons that you learn, you teach about almost immediately. You'll write a workshop, you'll write a retreat, you'll do a one-day something. Yeah. By the way, if you see any of Nicky's workshops or one-day retreats or full retreats on the internet, just book them, because they're really awesome. They've really been very catalytic for me.
But it's interesting that you say that, because I didn't realize that about myself, but now that you're saying it, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
When I learn something, I immediately want to share it. And I do. I get very excited.
Right. And you love research, so that's very 11th house. And you will research that thing and put this beautiful comprehensive package. So that's 11th house. So you've really got that beautiful support of being able to play to groups, because that's 11th house. It's a humanitarian, wants to. So its opposite is Leo. Leo is focused on me. How am I going to shine in the world? When you get to the opposite, Aquarius goes, okay, what can I do that's going to shift humanity's perception and make us better, is not the right word, but advance us so that we are actually just tolerating each other and being kind and living better. Okay.
So I never knew that.
You see, you never knew that, but you were doing that. You were just automatically writing these things.
And now that you're saying it, it's so obvious to me. Because yes, that is exactly what I do.
And you market. It's even easier to market yourself now, because you really believe it.
And now I can almost be okay with it, because
right, exactly.
I used to think, and I mean when I say used to, I mean like this year, not long ago, that And even my husband would say to me, Nikki, why are you always jumping from one thing to the other?
Right.
You get so excited about this thing, and then there's this like beautiful launch, and then there's another thing.
Right.
And there's a thread that runs through all of them. But now I understand that's because that's just the way it is.
Just the way it is, absolutely, absolutely. So I think that that's magnificent in the sense that you are successful from truly your soul. Whereas if you had not surrendered to that and continued to just keep yourself in a corporate world, you would have been potentially a really sickly person. You're somebody with this kind of beautiful connection that you have who's not connected to that. It's just not a healthy thing. So I loved seeing that. I remember when I plotted your chart, it was like, well, of course. Well, oh, of course.
But then we don't always see it because you did your life map with me 3 years ago.
Right.
But I didn't necessarily believe everything.
Of course you don't. Of course, it's difficult. I've seen that very often when I say to people, you're a master, or you are such a powerful person, or your words are so, and they're like, oh. And that people almost feel uncomfortable and think that I'm just making this up. But I really, well, first of all, I can't just say things. I'm just not like that. But it's so important to be reminded, really, of that you're magical, because we're tired. We get so tired. Also, this whole year, we've got something called the Cosmic Order, which is also really bringing about your spiritual work and what I do, and many people who are on this side of belief systems, we will see them coming out more and more now and monetizing what they believe in, actually becoming those healers or those teachers or those whatever their field is, because that's just simply what we need. That's how everything is changing now. So even in the last 3 years, over the time that we've known each other, even just the transformation that we've been forced into, there's just like, there's no.
It's happening. You can.
It's
see
happening. It's happening, and you have to come with. You can't change any of this, or you can't resist it, because change is ultimately what must happen. So we must change through it, but we can no longer resist it. So.
Well, if we do resist it, it's going to be painful.
I know, like breaking your ankle like that. Last year. Yeah. So thank you so much
for
chatting with me.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it is always a pleasure. And so this is really how relaxed and
super chill.
Yeah, exactly. My interviews are going to be. I love that. I had such a chuckle at when I started on my Facebook page doing little videos, which you were like, "That's what you got to do. Come on." And I was always so afraid. Oh, And this was the penny drop for me. Was, well, of course this is what it's going to be. Of course you're going to be doing a channel. Such an interesting thing. It's such a freeing thing, and I've learned that through you as well, where you just think, well, you know what, I don't care what people think. I just don't. I'm just actually going to be me completely.
I think that's it's all boils down to self-awareness. So the more you connect it into the truth, the easier it is to just show up as you are.
Exactly as you are. Right.
It's not easy, but it's easier.
It's easier, yeah. And the theory is easy, but then we get given these bodies that have little emotions and feelings and hunger pains, and we get hungry. But thank you, my friend. Please, can I ask you to drop your beautiful websites and how people can contact you to work with you in all your beautiful ways?
Okay, well, I've got the Support Room, which is a branding company. It's very different branding, so it's essentially helping women entrepreneurs get in touch with their truth and allow their brand to come through connecting in with their inner wisdom and what it is that they truly desire. And from there we create the brand and the website. So that's the supportroom.co.za. And then my beautiful, gorgeous passion which has come into my life is essential oils, doTERRA essential oils. And Candice Clark and I have started a community called Dream Builders. It's dreambuilderscommunity.com, and that's focused around supporting women to get in touch with their health, to allow nature's gift of essential oils to support their healing physically, healing emotionally, and spiritually.
Right.
So it's a beautiful community and focused in on the doTERRA essential oil as a primary product or vehicle to help you do that. And then I'm just about to launch a new program called Enlightened. And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah,
so
me
that
too.
is on my new website, nickyhartel.co.za, and it's an 8-week online program. Each week it's a different topic, but essentially it's the same thread that runs through everything.
Right.
Helping people connect into their true, connect into what it is that they truly desire, dream big, and then surrender and trust, and allow yourself to open up to the infinite abundance that is already there. And that's the program.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love you much.
I love you too.
Have a beautiful week. I will see you again on Sunday.